Canelo's been extremely durable over the years. One of his many assets is he seems to have one of the best chins in the game.
Wow.
I know you said you don't need to knock him out, you just need to beat him. But do you feel like you can hurt or even stop him?
Well, anybody can get hurt. Anybody can get, knocked out. I don't put it past nobody, but I'm not going in there looking for it.
You know what number makes sense for you? What's fair?
I got $10 million for that fight.
That's a lie.
How you know that's a lie?
To fight Canelo?
Yeah.
That's a lie.
I'm doing it for the opportunity, baby.
Yeah, that's
The
good.
legacy.
That's good.
You hear me?
Yeah. You believe that?
Yeah, 100%.
All right. I like Crawford. All right. My brother fought Canelo, not me. I like Crawford in this fight, and he gets to stay big. But my brother even told me that was his mistake that he made. He thought going up in weight, I got to get massive, I got to get big to beat Canelo. It made him slower. It made his reflexes slower. He'll tell you himself. He didn't feel like the Charlo that y'all seen him fight Tony Harrison. Crawford, I feel like that's the same thing as happening. You want to get...
Terence Crawford isn't just putting on weight to fight Canelo Alvarez. He's also sending a knockout message in a move that seems more like a personal mission than a business choice. He recently said that he only got $10 million to fight, which is a lot less than what a boxer of his caliber and fame would normally ask for a fight like this. It's clear that for him, it was never about the money. It was about leaving a legacy, doing something almost no one has ever done before, and becoming a three-time undisputed king in 3 weight classes, one of which he has never fought in. He also said that he will drop back down to 150 pounds to try to become undisputed again, and prove for sure that he is the best fighter of his time, after putting Canelo to sleep.
I'm doing it for the opportunity, baby.
Yeah, that's good.
The legacy.
Now, 10 million for us is like, let's go. But for him in the stage in his career, I don't think 10 million does it. Chris Eubank just got north of 20 at him. So we could say he's not at the level of Bud. And Canelo's the face of boxing. So what y'all think? Y'all think he's telling the truth or he's really just going for legacy?
For that fight, I got $10 million. I'm doing it for the chance and to leave a memory. Gifts are more important than money. Soon, everyone will know who the 3-time undisputed winner is. I could try it again at 154. In a recent interview with AKN Barack, Crawford said that kind of mentality isn't common in modern boxing, especially for someone who is 37 years old, a former undisputed lightweight and welterweight champion, and doesn't have anything left to prove. But for Crawford, it's not about the paper. It's about chasing the kind of greatness that only comes around once every generation.
For that fight. How you know that's a lie?
To fight Canelo?
Yeah. I'm doing it for the opportunity, baby. The legacy.
That's good.
The legacy outweighed the money. 3-time undisputed. Ooh, coming soon. I might go back down to 54.
To fight who?
And do it. I might go back down and do it again.
As you heard, the pound-for-pound king, Terence "Bud" Crawford.
What makes this pursuit even more staggering is that he's not looking for a tune-up or a feel-out fight at 168 pounds. His first step into this division is straight into a fight with Canelo Alvarez, a man who has built his reputation in that exact weight class for the better part of a decade. Canelo has been comfortable at super middleweight since 2018 and has stayed dominant there, most recently defending his titles against William Scullinmate to once again confirm his position as
Canelo. What can you take from sparring both of them to gauge what's gonna happen in September?
Preparation is gonna definitely be everything. Crawford adjusting to the 168 pound division. I know he's been sitting at a heavier weight for a while, but he's been showing his training and stuff. So that's definitely gonna help him. Canelo experience. You got Crawford, got great experience as well. It's gonna be a great fight. Gonna be a good chess match. I expect a great fight. If I had to favor somebody, I would just pick Canelo.
However, the battle is important not only because of Crawford's ambition, but also because both competitors appear to be so certain of their own outcome that they are already looking past each other. Canelo told Ring Magazine that he is still focused on a fight with Dimitri Bivol. That's the fight he wants. That's what keeps him awake at night. I hope I get a repeat with Bivol. That's the one fight at 175 I'd truly want. But we'll see. Canelo stated, I want to tell myself, hey, you learned something from that fight. What hobbies do you avoid repeating? I have that voice in my head that says, hey, You need to show that you're a stronger fighter than him.
About fighting here with my people and bring this kind of fight for them. They deserve it, and it's more than I expect. Yeah, that's my goal this year. But you know, if that fight don't happen, we'll see. But that's my goal this year.
Canelo was recently asked if he thought the All-Stars were going to be a serious threat, but he seems to think Crawford is more of a stop along the way than a serious threat, which is the kind of mistake Crawford appears to be counting on both men to make. Surprisingly, they appear to think they are the ones with nothing to prove, which can only lead to fireworks when they finally meet in the ring. The September 13th date is already generating buzz, though the exact venue has yet to be announced.
If Crawford's listening to this or Canelo's listening, what do you tell them about their fight?
Whoever wants to win will win. You know what I mean? I'm not being funny. Whoever wants to win will win.
The will overcome that. That's how you do it. I appreciate you. Great seeing you so much, and keep doing the good work.
Boxing insiders haven't kept quiet about their opinions, and they're split on what will happen. When asked about the matchup, former world champion Tony Bellew made a bold prediction, saying, "Canelo likes to wait. It has to be all at Canelo's rate and pace. He's not going to get that way with Terence Crawford. I just think Crawford will outwork him and potshot him. And I think he'll win on points. I get why Canelo is the favorite, but all good things come to an end. And by the way, if I'm wrong and Canelo does defeat Terence and he's the first man to beat
over Canelo. I got the reach over him. He might got the size, the power. I got the better skills, boxing skills.
Would it be more of a cat and mouse? The reality is Canelo does put people out. From Kirkland to Amir Khan to just...
Don't do
obviously,
I'm just saying, man.
No, but he's not.
Kovalev was older. And he does. Don't get me wrong. He does have a lot of power, but all those guys that you name is not as skillful as me. I'm sorry. No disrespect to none of those fighters. The skill level is.
Crawford has never been beaten. No one has solved the puzzle. Not at 135. Not at 140. Not at 147. And now, for the first time, he's skipping an entire weight class and trying to do it again. Meanwhile, Canelo has only 2 losses, one to Floyd Mayweather early in his career and one to Bivol in 2022, and otherwise has looked near unstoppable, especially at 168. There's a clear edge in weight, skill at that weight, and...
Do we see the same result in your honest opinion, Oscar, or do you think 100% Canelo can beat a Bivol?
Yeah, there's no way he beats Bivol. There's just no way. I mean, styles make fights, and as much as I would want to see a Mexican win inside that ring, a national hero, there's no way he beats Bivol.
Caleb Plant, a man who shared the ring with Canelo, has offered a more neutral opinion. I'll get him a shot. I don't know who wins, and honestly, there are weight groups for a reason, right? But at the same time, Terence is a special person with special skills, special mental fortitude, and special strength. Plant said he didn't pick a winner, but he stressed the one quality everyone seems to agree on when it comes to Crawford: he's different. He's obsessed with.
Not a regular guy, you know what I'm saying? He's special. And, you know, Canelo, he's a top-notch fighter, world-class fighter. Still on the pound-for-pound list, I'm sure towards somewhere near the top, and it's exciting. You know, Terence is freakishly strong. He can punch. He's got good crack. He can fight from both ways. Orthodox, southpaw. He can fight at mid-range, close range, outside, and he can fight going both ways. So it's exciting.
According to Plant, the Crawford-Canelo fight will not only be important, but also entertaining in a way that high-level boxing can't be when both fighters are overly cautious, but isn't going to run around the ring for 12 rounds, and Canelo isn't either, so I believe it'll be a fan-friendly fight.
His chances got better, at least the way how you were seeing things heading into the last fight with him and Skull?
I think it's a stylistic matchup, you know, and William Skull don't fight nothing like Terence Crawford. So we're not going to see the same type of fight come September. I think we're going to see a great fight, real good fight.
You and Terence have always had like a good relationship, but if he makes Canelo come...
Crawford's last fight against Israel showed a decline in his performance, And Fundora, who has been fighting at 68 for 4 or 5 years, thinks he is more comfortable at 168. Crawford has only fought once in the last year and will be 38 years old when he goes into the ring in September.
Think Crawford beats Canelo in
I don't think so.
Why is that? Why do you?
This guy's more comfortable at 168. He's been fighting 168 for 4 or 5 years now. Crawford's a great fighter, but we'll see. Boxing, anything can happen.
Did it look like Canelo was slowing down against Skull?
No, I think it's just something he's uncomfortable with.
Two of boxing's biggest stars are on a collision course. May 31st, they'll show up.
Fundora even questioned Crawford's motivation, saying, "But is quite rich now, and like wealthy people, he's not as ambitious to work hard as hungry fighters who haven't made millions." He went on to say that Crawford skipped the normal process of a tune-up fight at 168, which could leave him unprepared for the demands of that division. "You may call it sloth." Fundora further criticized Crawford's technique, suggesting that viewers should not expect a true fight and instead expect Crawford to utilize a hit-and-not-get-hit strategy, similar to what Shocker Stevenson has demonstrated.
Canelo. I think he's gonna cook him. I think, Canelo a hell of a fighter, but I think Bud's got all the tools.
You don't think the weight difference is gonna be too big of an advantage?
I think y'all make that something, in certain fights,
Boxing makes it something, not us.
like if this was like a Benavidez, he's actually a lot bigger than Bud, so that would like apply. But I feel like with Canelo, he's like physically kind of big, but like height wise, he's kind of small. So I don't think so.
Fans think Crawford is just chasing a paycheck and will not even begin to try to make a fight of it against Canelo. They see Crawford just coming to live, staying on the move, trying not to get hit by Alvarez, and hoping to win a decision. He said Crawford is a great boxer, but we'll see. I have Canelo. Canelo is more comfortable at 168. He's going to fight again for undefeated for a second time at 168, so this is nothing uncomfortable to him. Terence Crawford is a great fighter, and of course we can see that he can probably make 168 easily. But, again, it's a different division. 147 and 168 are two different classes. David Benavidez has also recently weighed in on the highly awaited fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. Benavidez didn't hesitate to praise Crawford's boxing intelligence, calling his IQ on another level and labeling him a great fighter with real strength. It was clear from his words that he respects what Crawford brings to the ring, but for Benavidez the issue lies less in skills and more in weight. The gap between what Crawford is used to and what Canelo has mastered is not small. Crawford has never fought at 168 pounds, that's a full 2 divisions above what he's dominated in the past. Benavidez pointed to the fact that Crawford had already started to feel the power of bigger guys even at 154 pounds, and if that was noticeable, it's only going to get more intense when facing someone with Canelo's proven strength at super middleweight. I think it's more important for Crawford than anybody but I think if anybody could beat out Canelo, I think Crawford could. Yet, I know you said, he could be the guy. What kind of a chance do you finally give him? I think you give him, a 7 out of a 10. Oh wow, that high. I thought you were going to say, 25. Crawford is good. Crawford is good, and I think he's known that he's going to fight Canelo for a long time. And, Crawford, he likes to pick up the weights, so I'm sure he's been working on the weights outside of the fighting. Promoter Eddie Hearn had his own take, one that went a little further in studying Crawford's place in boxing history. In an interview with YSM Sports Media, Hearn openly questioned the depth of Crawford's resume. He admitted it directly to Crawford, jokingly asking him to name his most important win. When Crawford pointed to Ricky Burns, Hearn didn't hold back. Burns, while a 3-division champion and a respected boxer in his own right, isn't a name usually mentioned alongside the all-time greats.
Crawford is going to do a lot of defense. Now, if he pulls off that win, dude, that's going to be one of the most biggest, upsets of all time for this dude to go up that many weight classes. And now, I do think that, he's going to get his little shots in as far as, finessing and all that, because his hands are definitely way faster.
Hearn's point was that Crawford never really had access to marquee names during his rise. It wasn't necessarily Crawford's fault, Hearn said. but it left him in a situation where he couldn't fully build the kind of legendary resume that other fighters from past generations enjoy. According to Hearn, Crawford could very well have beaten a lot of those legends, but he simply never got the opportunity to prove it in the ring. Spence, but even he acknowledges that Errol Spence, was probably a little bit, and Bub could beat all the greats, but he never really got the chance, and that's why this fight's really important for him, and to him. And after watching Canelo against Skull, and I know it was Skull, and I think he's the fresher guy in there, and I was very rarely back against Canelo Alvarez, but as for how the Canelo-Crawford fight might play out, Hearn admitted that even though he usually doesn't bet against Canelo, this one is tough to call. He noticed that Crawford is fresher and suggested that if there was ever a time for Crawford to beat someone like Canelo, this might be it. It's rare for Hearn to hedge like that when talking about one of his most known fighters in Alvarez, which shows just how unique this matchup is. The others say, no, that's 2 more weight classes, once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different. I'm worried about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo, he's going to slow down, so I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him. Another voice in the mix is Jermall Charlo, whose brother Jermall met Canelo in 2023 and walked away with a loss. Jermall didn't dodge the problem when talking about his brother's fight. He said flat out that Jermall's mistake was trying to bulk up too much to match Canelo's size. In doing so, he lost his speed and his agility. According to Jermall, that method didn't work and it shouldn't be repeating. Now looking at Crawford, Jermall is hoping he doesn't fall into the same mistake. Crawford's edge, he said, isn't in matching size. It's in movement, precision, and timing. Trying to meet Canelo head-on in terms of power and weight could be the exact wrong choice.
Let me tell you what I think should be gone. The notion that Terence Bud Crawford should move up 3 weight classes, 21 pounds, to fight Canelo Alvarez. He's entirely too small. Jermall Charlo already proved that.
Charlo has made it clear that he still supports Crawford in the matchup, but his worrying is that the version of Crawford who steps into the ring at 168 might not be the same man who dismantled Gamboa or dominated Spence. Going up in weight doesn't just mean facing bigger hits, it means changing your entire physical rhythm. Jamal's point is that in trying to change to Canelo's world, Crawford might lose the very tools that made him great. I'm going with Terence Crawford, big weight jump, a scary fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's land, that he can't figure it out against you. It's no offense to Canelo, but I've said this the last couple of times, I have not been against Terence Crawford against anybody right now. You've got to show me that you can beat him. The talk around this fight has also touched on the promotional side and what it means for future matchups. One of the major questions in boxing circles has been whether a Canelo win would finally lead to a fight against David Benavidez. Benavidez has now moved up to light heavyweight and holds the WBC belt at 175, but fans still fantasize about a matchup between the 2 Mexican warriors. However, Benavidez's father, who has always been vocal and unfiltered, poured cold water on those expectations. Speaking to Fight Hub TV, he predicted that Canelo vs Crawford would be boring, referencing the low punch output in Canelo's fight with William Skull and suggesting the matchup simply doesn't have the ingredients for excitement. That skepticism is not universal, but it reflects the split in opinion about this fight. Some believe Crawford is risking everything to add a third undisputed crown to his name, driven by a deep need to leave no doubt about his place in boxing history. Others think he's walking into a division that doesn't suit him against a fighter who has built his home there with too little preparation and too much on the line. Either way, Crawford's attitude hasn't wavered. He sees something in this matchup that he believes will bring out the best in him.
Crawford, Canelo, who you got? Crawford, Canelo? I still say Canelo.
I got Canelo too.
I still say Canelo. Ring IQ, I believe that Crawford has a bit more.
Yeah.
However, it's just the size difference. I think that where Crawford is lacking is that he should try test the waters even with somebody at that weight class before facing Canelo. But hey, they say he's a dog, he's got shot.
If Terence Crawford wins the fight, he will return to 154 to become undisputed for the 4th time. This fight is not a detour or a retirement plan for him. It is a test, and winning it isn't enough. He wants to win it, move down, and keep showing things no one has done before. Do you think he will win? Share your thoughts below and subscribe for more information.